In news from education this Tuesday, it's been 7 years since government's educational loan program was suspended by default. Now, the government is preparing to pursue those persons who borrowed and are refusing to pay back. Institutionalized in 2000, the educational loan program was suspended in 2009 because recipients were not repaying the loans, which eventually resulted in the fund being depleted. During a press conference at the Ministry of Education yesterday, Education Minister, the Honorable Jerome Fitzgerald, said it's the government's intention to restart the program, but not before collecting the funds owed.
We are aware that there are persons who receive loans, return home, and are not working. We are also equally aware that there is a possibility that a number of persons who receive funds, particularly between 2000 and 2002, may have never attended school at all. However, we are cognizant of our fiduciary responsibility to the country, and we have formulated a plan that we think will sensibly facilitate our pursuit to collect delinquent funds one way or the other. It is our intention to collect and account for every red cent.
Minister Fitzgerald says to date, the value of the outstanding money owed is approximately $155 million. He says this figure represents some 4,300 loans. The minister announced the government's formula of an oversight incentive program to recover the funds, which also includes a work program of tutoring, mentoring, or other public service.
A 12-month period of incentives and waivers from the 1st of March 2016 will be made available to assist and encourage delinquent borrowers to repay their loans. This period will be an interest-free period during which no interest will be applied to loans. 2. During this 12-month period, borrowers who wish to pay off their loans in full will settle their loans by repaying principal only, and all interest related to the loan will be forgiven.
More than $800,000 was raised for hurricane restoration from a joint partnership between the Rotary Clubs of the Bahamas and the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce. That's about 1/3 of the $2.2 million needed to help 117 businesses that have applied for assistance. Chamber CEO Edison Sumner told ZNS News that more than 150 businesses were damaged during Hurricane Joaquin, and more help is on the way.
We've spent cumulatively well over $350,000 to date in the rebuild efforts throughout the Family Islands. And this is not just Long Island, although they represent the largest share because of the size of the community that was impacted. But we've been able to assist in all the other islands, Crooked Island, Auckland, Anagua, San Salvador, to name the other few.
And speaking of Long Island, Sumner explained how Rebuild Bahamas contracted Resolve Salvage and Fire to restore 8 fishing vessels at a cost of $160,000.
The direct impact of that is that there are going to be 100 fishing persons back in business, but it does not include those who've got to go and repair these vessels, who've got to replace engines and coolers and the rest of it. So the results of that are tremendous. And then we think about in Agua, where there's an entire fish fry village that was destroyed, and we're working now to get that industry back in business.
Now to news from the courts. 41-year-old Headley Fred Lafayette made his first appearance in the South Street Magistrates Court today. The Haitian national is accused of fatally shooting Dave Miller over 2 weeks ago in the Grove area. In court, Lafayette was formally charged before Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt with intentionally and unlawfully causing Miller's death. He also pleaded not guilty to possession of dangerous drugs with the intent to supply and possession of 3.38 rounds of ammunition. Bail was denied and he was remanded in custody. He returns to court on April 19th for service of voluntary bill of indictment papers. Now, following the arraignment, Lafayette complained that his personal documents were taken by police and he asked that they be returned. He also asked to be allowed to call his lawyer. The court noted his requests and ordered that he be given a chance to call his lawyer. Well, a judge has sentenced convicted serial rapist Oscar Ingram to 43 years behind bars for the rape, armed robbery, and burglary of a foreign national 4 years ago. In passing the sentence, Justice Indra Charles noted that the victim, who is an expat, suffered physically and emotionally and still has anxiety attacks. Justice Charles also noted that Ingram is already serving a 28-year prison term for a similar offense and poses a danger to women and society. She noted that his sentence must send a serious message that society abhors such offenses. Ingram begins serving his sentence immediately.
If you know of a crime, please call Crime Stoppers at 328-8477, toll free 242-300-8477. You can also check them out on www.crimestoppersbahamas.com. Let's stop the crime before it's your time.